You know, Emma, I was looking at social media earlier, and I saw a photo from an old high school classmate. It made me think about our school days.
Oh, that's nice. It feels like such a long time ago, doesn't it? It's funny what things make you remember the past.
It really does. It got me thinking about all the different classes we had to take and all the different teachers we had over the years.
We certainly had a wide variety. Some were very strict, some were very funny, and some were, well, a little boring.
That's for sure. But some of them were truly great. They were the ones that made a real difference. It makes me wonder, did you have a favorite teacher?
A favorite teacher? That is a great question. I haven't thought about that in years. Let me think for a moment.
Take your time. I'm sure there was at least one that stood out from the rest.
Yes. Yes, there was. When you ask that, one name immediately comes to my mind. My favorite teacher was definitely Mrs. Evans.
Mrs. Evans. What did she teach, and what was she like?
She was my history teacher in my final 2 years of high school, and she was just wonderful. Truly a special person.
So, your favorite teacher was your high school history teacher, Mrs. Evans? Tell me more about her. What was her personality like?
Well, the first word that comes to mind is passionate. She was so passionate about history. When she talked about historical events, her eyes would light up.
It's always great when a teacher loves their subject. That passion can be very infectious for the students.
It really was. You could tell she wasn't just doing a job. She was sharing something she truly loved. She was also incredibly kind and patient.
That's a great combination of qualities for a teacher.
It is. No question was ever a stupid question in her class. She created a very safe and supportive environment for us to learn in.
That sounds like a wonderful classroom to be in. Was she very serious?
Not at all. She had a fantastic sense of humor. She would often tell funny little stories about historical figures that weren't in the textbooks. It made them feel like real people.
So she was passionate, kind, patient, and funny. She sounds like the perfect teacher.
I really think she was. She had this warm smile that just made you feel comfortable the moment you walked into her classroom.
So, Mrs. Evans sounds like a wonderful person, but what was her class actually like? I know history can sometimes be a little dry.
That's true. Before I was in her class, I always thought history was just about memorizing dates and names. I found it very boring.
I felt the same way about history for a long time. It just felt like a long list of facts.
But Mrs. Evans changed all of that for me. She was an amazing storyteller. She didn't just teach us facts, she told us the stories behind the facts.
Can you give me an example?
Instead of just telling us about a famous battle, she would describe what a normal soldier was feeling. She would read letters they wrote home. It made history feel so real and human.
That's a much more engaging way to learn. It connects you to the events on an emotional level.
Exactly. Her class was also very interactive. We didn't just sit and listen to her talk. We had debates, we did group projects, and we even had a mock trial for a historical figure once.
A mock trial? That sounds like so much fun.
It was incredible. She made us think for ourselves. She wanted us to question things and form our own opinions, not just repeat what was in the book.
It sounds like Mrs. Evans created a really special learning environment. Do you have a specific memory of her that really stands out?
I do, actually. There is one memory that I will never forget. It was during our final year.
What happened?
We had to write a big research paper, and I was really struggling. I had chosen a difficult topic, and I felt completely overwhelmed. I was ready to give up.
I've been in that situation before. It's a terrible feeling when you feel stuck on a big project.
It is. I was very stressed. I went to see Mrs. Evans after class one day, and I was almost in tears. I told her I didn't think I could do it.
What did she do?
She just smiled her warm, patient smile. She didn't tell me the answers. Instead, she sat with me for almost an hour and just asked me questions.
Questions about the topic?
Yes, she helped me break down the big, scary topic into smaller, more manageable questions. She helped me create a simple outline. She didn't do the work for me, but she showed me how to do the work.
That is the sign of a great teacher. She guided you.
By the end of our conversation, I felt like I could breathe again. I had a clear plan, and I felt so much more confident. Her encouragement made all the difference.
That's a wonderful story. It's amazing how one teacher and one conversation can have such a big impact.
It really is. The help she gave me with that paper was fantastic. But the impact she had on me was much bigger than just one grade.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, she taught me so much more than just history. She taught me how to be curious about the world. She taught me to look for the stories behind the facts.
So she taught you a way of thinking, not just a subject.
Yes, she taught me how to think critically and how to not be afraid of big, complicated ideas. She showed me that any problem can be solved if you break it down into smaller pieces.
That is a life lesson that is useful in any job or situation.
It is. I still use that skill every single day. But most importantly, she taught me to believe in myself. That day she helped me with my paper, she showed me that I was capable of doing difficult things.
She helped you see your own potential.
She did. She inspired me to be more confident and to not give up when things get hard. That is a gift that I will always be grateful for. So that was my favorite teacher, Mrs. Evans. She was a true inspiration. Now, I have to ask you, David, what about you? Who was your favorite teacher?
That's easy for me. My favorite was Mr. Clark. He was my science teacher in elementary school when I was about 10 years old.
An elementary school teacher. They can have such a big influence when you are young. What was he like?
He was the complete opposite of a boring teacher. He was full of energy and excitement. He was tall, had messy hair, and always had a huge smile on his face.
He sounds like a fun character.
He was. He had this incredible enthusiasm that was just infectious. You couldn't help but be excited about science when you were in his class.
So he was very energetic and enthusiastic. Was he also kind?
He was incredibly kind. He was also very funny. He would make silly jokes and do funny voices to explain scientific concepts. He made us laugh every single day.
A teacher who makes you laugh while you learn is a real treasure.
He really was. He just had this amazing ability to connect with kids. He treated us with respect and made us feel like our ideas were important.
So Mr. Clark sounds like he had a wonderful and energetic personality. What made his science class so special?
I think the main thing was that he made science a hands-on experience. We barely ever just sat and read from a textbook.
That's the best way to learn science. You need to see it and do it.
Exactly. His classroom was less like a classroom and more like a laboratory or a workshop. It was full of interesting things.
Like what? What kind of things did he have?
He had skeletons, rock collections, microscopes, and all sorts of strange plants. There was always something new and exciting to look at.
It sounds like a museum of science.
It was. And almost every lesson involved some kind of fun experiment or project. He believed that the best way to learn was by doing.
I agree with that philosophy completely. We didn't just learn about electricity, we built simple circuits with batteries and bulbs. We didn't just learn about plants, we grew our own beans in a cup.
That sounds like so much fun. It makes learning feel like playing. It was. He made science feel like a grand adventure, not like a difficult school subject. Every day was a discovery.
It sounds like Mr. Clark's class was an unforgettable experience. Is there one specific experiment or memory that you'll never forget?
Oh, absolutely. There are so many, but one stands out above all the others. It was the day we made our own volcanoes.
You made volcanoes? How did you do that?
He had us all bring in empty plastic bottles. We then used paper and paste to build a mountain shape around the bottle. We spent a whole afternoon painting them to look like real volcanoes.
That sounds like a fun art project. But was it a science project?
It was. The best part was the next day. He took us all outside and he showed us how to make our volcanoes erupt.
They actually erupted? No way!
Yes, we put baking soda inside the bottle. Then he came around with a bottle of vinegar mixed with red food coloring. We poured the vinegar in and whoosh!
Red lava came out of the top?
It was amazing. The red foam came bubbling out and flowed down the sides of our little mountains. We all cheered. It felt like real magic.
I can just imagine the excitement. What a wonderful way to teach about chemical reactions.
I will never forget that feeling of wonder. It was the most exciting day of the entire school year for me.
The volcano experiment sounds incredible. It's clear that Mr. Clark knew how to make learning memorable.
He certainly did. And just like your teacher, Mrs. Evans, the impact he had on me went far beyond just one lesson.
What was the biggest impact he had on you?
Well, he is the reason I love science to this day. He sparked my interest in how the world works. That day with the volcano, I realized that science wasn't just a subject in a book. It was everywhere around us.
He gave you a lifelong passion. That is a powerful gift.
It is. He also taught me that it's okay to make a mess and to make mistakes. Science is all about trying things and seeing what happens.
That's a very important lesson. It teaches you not to be afraid of failure.
Exactly. He created a space where we were free to be curious and to experiment. He never got angry if an experiment went wrong. He would just say, "Interesting. Why do you think that happened?"
So he taught you how to learn from your mistakes.
Yes. He made me feel smart and capable. He showed me that learning is an adventure, full of discovery and excitement.
It's so nice to hear about Mr. Clark. It seems like we were both very lucky to have such wonderful teachers in our lives.
We really were. It makes you think, what is it that makes a teacher truly great? It's not just about knowing the subject.
I agree completely. I think the one thing that both Mrs. Evans and Mr. Clark had was a true passion. A passion for their subject and a passion for teaching.
Yes, that passion is essential. It's what makes the students excited to learn. They also both seem to be incredibly kind and caring.
That's true. They didn't just see us as a group of students. They saw us as individuals. They took the time to help us when we were struggling.
They saw the potential in every student. They wanted to help us become more confident and believe in ourselves.
A great teacher doesn't just give you knowledge, they give you confidence and inspiration. They open your mind to new ideas.
It's a very important and difficult job, and the great ones can change a person's life.
They really can. They help shape who we become. I am so grateful for teachers like Mrs. Evans.
And I am so grateful for teachers like Mr. Clark. This has been a lovely conversation. It's nice to remember the people who made a positive difference.